Renewing your US passport when you're outside of the United States is pretty straightforward, and people do it all the time, especially if they're living abroad or they happen to be traveling full time. The process of renewing from outside the US versus inside is a little bit different, so I thought I would share since this is my third time renewing my US passport from the UK. Disclaimer: this information is accurate as of June 2024. I've provided links to everything I'm sharing in the description so you can check for the latest. The very first step is to visit the embassy website of the country that you are in, just to check their processing times. So, for example, Australia is 6 weeks and the UK is 3 weeks. During processing, your passport will not be with you, it will be with the government, so you won't be able to leave the country unless you happen to have another citizenship and another passport that goes along with it. On the embassy website, you'll find specific instructions on how and where to send your renewal application and how to pay the fee. They'll also link you to the official application form. I didn't check for every country, so the steps for your specific country may vary slightly from what I'm about to show you. So use this as a guide only, and again, just check the embassy specific to you for the latest information. In most standard cases, that is to say, it's not some sort of emergency, you'll send the application by postal mail rather than going in person. So I'm just going to cover the postal application only. And the very first thing I need to mention is just allow yourself a few days to get all this prepared. The things you're going to need are a trusted address where you can receive the new passport, and also they're going to return your old passport. And that needs to be in the same country that you're renewing in. So you'll need access to a paper and photo printer, and assuming you don't know anybody that has one or you don't have one yourself, there are places that can do this all the time because it's pretty common. And then you'll need a black pen to sign the application. Then you'll need a large sturdy envelope to send the printed application, printed payment confirmation, the photos, and the old passport. And finally, you'll need a self-addressed stamped envelope for the passports to be returned in. But I'm going to take you through each of these steps a little bit more in detail. The first thing I would do is pay for the renewal fee. And I was just able to pay online with a credit card. And then I suggest you use the print function in your computer to get a PDF of that payment confirmation screen, because you'll probably need to include it with your application form, or at least I did. Okay, so the next step is to fill out the DS-182 form. There's actually a way to do it online where you just fill in the fields and then it generates a PDF for you. And first of all, and also it allows you to check your work before you generate the PDF. So that's pretty helpful. Yeah, and then you just save the PDF. Okay, and then I would suggest you take care of the passport photo. There's some pretty strict rules laid out about how the photos can appear. So, you need to have a serious face. This would be rejected. And you can take the photo at home and crop it to the right size, or you could visit a shop that offers passport photo services. Just make sure that they're clear about what the US requirements are, because it's different. Certainly it's different between the US and the UK. The US photos needed to be 2 inches by 2 inch square. The face has to be centered, that type of thing. I didn't have a thumb drive with me, so while I was at home, I created a draft email and attached the PDFs and the photos, and then I took my phone into the photo store and I was able to forward the email to them to get printed. Inside the big envelope goes the 2 relevant pages of the application, signed obviously, along with the printed payment confirmation, the old passport, and a self-addressed stamped envelope. My instructions were to send them as special delivery to the embassy. When I had created that draft email with the attachments, I also added the embassy's address, so I was able to fill that out when I was already at the post office. The envelope was weighed, I paid for it, I got proof that was posted with a confirmation number. Now you wait. So then your parcel gets sent to the embassy, and I don't know these steps of what they do out there, but passports are processed in the United States, and then everything is returned back to the embassy, and then the embassy will then return it back to the owner. There is a check status portal, and it doesn't always work, but I did get it to work. at least once. You can also subscribe to email updates, but I actually didn't get any, so I don't know. However, I do know that my passport was sent the 21st of June by second class mail. So it was arriving on the 24th of June, which is a Monday. And it got processed and sent back within 10 working days because it shows it was mailed on the 5th of July. What that mailed means in our case for a passport going back to an embassy is that so that means it's been mailed back to the embassy on that date. It doesn't mean it's mailed to your address. I assume it's going to be at least a few more days for the embassy to send the passports back to my UK address. So I'll leave a comment when it arrives. I'm not an expert and I might not be able to answer your question, but if you do have any comments, please leave them below. I'll try. Bye for now.